Okay, sir. Recording started.
Namaskaram. We are pleased to welcome you all for this 94th edition of Moksha Darshanam Satsangam online. We have been doing this on every Sunday between 5 and 6:30 p.m. And this was possible by the overwhelming response of the participants or sajjanas like you. In spite of all the work, you keep all the job, irrespective of its nature, aside and join and participate this program. Man, this was made possible just because of you. And the interest what you have shown, the interest what you have shown in learning this spiritual things and passing on to the next generation. And that is also one of the main purpose of this Moksha Darshanam, that we would like to pass on this whatever we learned the spiritual things to the others and as well as to the next generation. And to great extent we have been successful in doing this, and more than 5 to 6 years now we have been doing it, and it has gone to many people, and of course to the next generation as well. It is very clear because from the response of the children section, that is so many children have come forward in giving some small slokas or some discourses either in Tamil or English. So really we are happy that the very purpose of starting this Moksha Darshanam Satsangam has really become fruitful. As a general practice or a template, or we can say sequence of events, we start off the Satsangam with a devotional song followed by a discourse, and of course it is being ended by the children section. Some children of any age group, school going or college going children, they used to give some slokas or discourses. With that we end up, finally we have some question answer sessions for about 5 minutes. So today we are going to have, first the song is by Satish Kumar. He is a pioneer member who does not require any much introduction to this satsangam, because he is right from the since its inception of Moksha Darshanam, he has been an active member of this, and he has been singing the first song every time in the Moksha Darshanam satsangam. Even some 2 years back, he was the lonely person who used to sing in the satsangam and start off. Afterwards, slowly the people have started showing some interest in singing, and we have started giving the opportunity to all the people. So today we are happy that Satish is going to sing a song in his melodious, divine voice, followed by Mr. Balaji, who is going to give a discourse. So just to say a few words about Mr. Balaji, he is from Salem. He is residing at Chennai. He has got lots of banking experience, having worked in a syndicate bank, and finally he took a VRS when he was working in Canara Bank as an AGM. Though he would have taken a VRS in work nature, but he still continued to spread the Sanatana Dharma by posting videos in YouTube and giving some explanations in Tamil for Kannada Dasara songs. He has been actively participating, and he has been still working in translation work of a Dasa Sahithya movie, that is Jagannatha Dasar movie. And when Mr. Srinivas approached him to give a discourse, in spite of his busy schedule, he has readily accepted to give a discourse in our satsangam, and we are very happy and thankful to you, Mr. Balaji. And it will be followed by a children's section that Isha Chakravarthy, who is studying in 4th standard, is going to give a discourse at the later part of this program. So Isha Chakravarthy, if I want to say something about her, she is hardly 9 years old or 10 years old maybe, studying in 4th standard, And though she born in Chennai, she started off her career in Ireland. Till 5 to 6 years she was there in Ireland. Then she again migrated back to Chennai. She is studying in a school, and she has got a good interest in singing, and as well as giving some speeches and some discourses as well. This is not the first time for her to give a speech in our satsang. Already she has given a speech in our satsang in Tamil. Today she has shown interest in giving speech in English as well. So we are welcoming Isha Chakravarthy also. So first I would like to give the mic to Mr. Satish Kumar, who is going to give a devotional song. Satish Kumar, please, over to you.
Yeah, able to hear me properly?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks. When Srinivasan asked me whether I can sing in this session of Satsangam, I choose to accept for two reasons. One, singing in the Satsangam is always an happiness for me to start the program with this song. Second, as Srinivasan was informing that in the Moksha Darshanam group today, his son had an Upanayanam this week. So unfortunately, I'm unable to attend the Satsangam. So I take this opportunity to dedicate this song to his son's blessings from the Acharyan and Guru, because Upanayanam is the first starting point of anybody's to have a Acharya Sambandham. So Sarangan has got that beautiful connection with the Acharya through his Upanayanam. It is very beautifully happened function. Even though we didn't able to attend that, I pray this uh, the Guru and Acharyan of Madhva Sambradaya to have his blessing to Sarangan and all of us. So with that, without delaying much, I sing this song. ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಪೀತಾವದಾರ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಪೀತಾವದಾರ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಪರಮ ಸುಗುಣ ಸಾಂದ್ರ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಪರಮ ಸುಗುಣ ಸಾಂದ್ರ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದ ಗಣ ಪತಿತ ಭಾಗ್ಯವನೇತ್ರೋ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದ ಗಣ ಪತಿತ ಭಾಗ್ಯವನೇತ್ರೋ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಪೀತಾವದಾರ ದರೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಮಹಿಮ ತೋರಿ ಸದಗುವ ನಿನಗೆ ದರೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಮಹಿಮ ತೋರಿ ಸದಗುವ ನಿನಗೆ ಸರಿಕಾನಿ ನಾನಯ್ಯ ಪರಮ ಗುರುದೇವ ದರೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಮಹಿಮ ತೋರಿ ಸದಗುವ ನಿನಗೆ ಸರಿಕಾನಿ ನಾನಯ್ಯ ಪರಮ ಗುರುದೇವ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಬಹುಜನ ಮನತ ಮಂತ್ರ ತೋಡು ತೆಳಸಿದುವ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಬಹುಜನ ಮನತ ಮಂತ್ರ ತೋಟು ತೆಳಸಿದುವ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಬಹುಜನ ಮನತ ಮಂತ್ರ ತೋಡು ತೆಳಸಿದುವ ಮಾನ್ಯತ ಗುರುನಾಥ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಸುರವಿನುತ ಮಾನ್ಯತ ಗುರುನಾಥ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಸುರವಿನುತ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಪೀತಾವದಾರ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಎನ್ನ ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಜಯ ಸದ್ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕಿ ஜெய். அந்த ஆச்சாரியன் குரு அனுகிரகம் அந்த சாரங்கனுக்கும் நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் கிடைக்கணும்னு வேண்டிக்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you so much for a wonderful song, nicely sung, and it is closely related to what Mr. Balaji is going to give the discourse on Sahithya, Dasa Sahithya, and you have started off well. Now I'm handing over the mic to Mr. Balaji, who will take us through his discourse.
Thank you very much. Gurubhyo Namaha, Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimad Anandatirtha Bhagavad Pacharya Gurubhyo Namaha. First of all, I thank Satish for a beautiful invocation song. You have rendered very well. And nextly, I should thank our Harikesh for giving a very good introduction about me. Whether I am worth for it or not, but you have given a very good introduction. Thank you very much, Harikesh. And as you know, this is my first maiden attempt for a live discourse, that too in English. So I request you people kindly condone if there is any mistake either in the content or in grammar. With this, I'd like to start my discourse. Today, the topic I have chosen is evaluation of this Haridaasa, Dasakoota. So, how the Dasakoota has emerged and what was his contribution to the Dvaita Siddhantha. That is what my topic. So, let me start my discourse. So, what happened in the Dwapara Yuga? The next Kali Yuga is going to come. In the Dwapara Yuga, Narada went to meet Sri Krishna Paramatma. So when he reached, then he asked Krishna a few questions. Krishna invited him and asked him to take a chair. Then asked, yes, Narada, you can ask your doubts. Then he asked, Hare Paramatma, people say that Kali Yuga is a Papa Yuga. People will suffer in Kali Yuga. Dharma will not stand in the Kali Yuga. Dharma will suffer, and also so many things are they are being told about Kali Yuga. I'm very much worried. How you are going to save the people? There will be Sajjana also in Kali Yuga. How they are going to be saved? How they will be shown a path for moksha? Paramatma laughed. He said, Narada, you don't worry. I'm here to take care of all those things. As you said, Kali Yuga is not a Papa Yuga. Actually, in fact, in Kali Yuga, it is very easy to get moksha. All other yugas are very tough. In Kali Yuga, everything is easy. Getting moksha is very easy. He said, for every yuga, there is a dharma to get moksha. So he says, in Krita Yuga, dhyana and tapas. That means your penance is the main thing to please the God and get the moksha. Whereas, in case of Treta Yuga, it is yagas, yajnas and all you have to perform, for which you should be very proficient. Then, in case of Dwapara Yuga, it is Devata Archana. That means you have to conduct puja for your Devata in different ways. You can please the God by doing puja and attain moksha. But in Kali Yuga, it is very simple. It is only Namasmarane or Namasangirtana, just a bhakti will definitely give you a moksha. This is the dharma of Kali Yuga. So Narada was very much pleased. Same thing, our Sripada Raja also tells. What he says, Kali Yugadalli Ghanadi Keshava Endare Kai Kuduvanu Rangavitalanu. Simply you say Keshava, Narayana, automatically he will show you the path. The Purandaradasa also endorses it. What he says, Kali Yugadolu Harinamavan Enadare Kulakotigalu Uddarisu. That is, your entire this thing will be this thing, get moksha if you simply say Harinama. This is the power of Harinama in Kali Yuga, he said. Then he asked, Hare Paramatma, I have got one more doubt. You have taken avatars in all the 3 yugas. What about this Kali Yuga? He said, yes, I have taken all these 3 yugas, I have taken avatar. But in Kali Yuga, it will happen at the end only. And one more difference is here. In previous yugas, you people have wandering over Bhuloka also with the same this thing. Narada as Narada only. Or any other Devata as that Devata only. But in Kali Yuga, it is not possible. You have to take a rebirth, or you have to take an avatar and reborn in Kali Yuga to guide people. So here I am handing over this responsibility to you Devatas. You people have to take avatar first. You have to take avatar and reborn in the Kali Yuga and Bhuloka, and you have to teach the people the right path to attain the moksha. So Narada was pleased. Then he asked, okay, I have got one more doubt. Narada has always got a doubt. So what he said, Hare Paramatma, I got one more doubt. Yes, come on, you tell me, what is your problem? He said, see, people say Kali Yuga is worse, and when we reborn in Kali Yuga, we will be engulfed in that Maya, and we may forget the duty for which we have born in the world. What will happen then? Then Paramatma laughed. See, this much I have done. The next brother will not do. So yes, definitely I will do. I will intervene and take back you to the right path and give you the wisdom so that you can guide the people, guide the common people for moksha. So that is what happened. That is what happened. What happened? Narada has taken an avatar as Purandaradasa. Then Lord Ganesha has taken avatara as our Gopaladasa. Brihamunigalu has taken avatara as our Vijayadasa. Then Dhromagaraja has taken avatara as our Sripadarajaru. And Prahlada Raja has taken avatara as Vyasaraja. Again in turn he has taken as Raghavendraru. Then his brother Sahlada has taken avatara as Jagannatha Dasaru. So likewise, so many people, they have taken all these devatas and all, they have taken avatars in Bhuloka, and they have been guiding us the right path. And again, as promised by the God, whether he has intervened, that's the question. See what happens when Purandaradasa, when he born, no, he was a very rich diamond merchant. So he was enjoying the earthly life. He was enjoying all his treasure for his own pleasure, and he never gave any dhana or dharma. So what happened? Bhagavan has thought, yes, this fellow has forgotten his duty. For what? The purpose for which he has taken avatar in Bhuloka. So he intervened. He came as a Brahmana and asked for dhana for his son's Upanayana, and that changed the. You may be knowing the story. I don't want to elaborate the story of Sri Purandaradasa, which is a well-known one. So what happened? It changed his entire life. We must be very much wondering, because Purandaradasa was a multi-billionaire in those days. Our Ambani and all, nothing. He was called Navakoti Narayana. That means he was having 9 crores of rupees in 1400s. Just think of it. For every 1 crore, no, he used to have 1 story of building. So his house was 9-storied building. Apart from that, he has got treasure of diamonds, navaratnas, everything. And he was leading a very luxurious life. And suddenly, he has thrown everything out. Just came out of the house with his children and wife, put a tulsi dala in front of the house and put a water and said, yes, it is Krishna Arpana. Whoever wants, you please take it. And without turning back and seeing it, he walked away. Do you think it's a small thing? It is a very big thing. Those who have enjoyed such a wealth, leaving that wealth and coming out as a dasa is not a small thing. So that way Purandaradasa has done, and God has intervened in his life and took him back. Same way, what happened to our Vijayadasa, you take the story of Vijayadasa, he was so frustrated of poverty. He decided to go to Kashi and commit suicide. See, the belief is that if you commit suicide at Ganga, Kashi, then there is no sin. So he decided and went to Kasi. Again, the God intervened in the form of Purandaradasa. Purandaradasa came in his dream and told, no, you don't take this decision. I am here for you. Your purpose of taking birth as Vijayadasa is totally different. You have got lot of duty towards the Bhakti Marga. You have to enlighten so many people and you have to bring back all those people to the Bhakti Marga. So your duty is there. So what he did, he has written the Vijaya Vittala Ankita in his tongue and he has gifted his own tambura to Vijayadasa. So that day onwards, he was known as Vijayadasa. Actually, before his name was only Dasappa and was in a very poor family and he did not have a formal education also. And there is no food, who will think of education? He could not get a 1 square meal in a day, then you cannot imagine of education. So he did not have any education. Formal education was not at all there. But once he was given that Ankita and that this thing was written in his tongue, no? All the wisdom has come to him. He started writing songs, poems. He started composing songs in Kannada as well as he got the very good fluency over Sanskrit also. That he says in his own song. In his own song he says. Like that, you take the Gopala Dasaru. Gopala Dasaru was very good in Joshiya Sastra. So he was also born in a very poor family because of his Gayatri Mantra Japa. He did 1 lakh Gayatri Mantra Japa for each Akshara of Gayatri. For 2 years he has done. Because of which he got the knowledge that he can tell all the 3 births of a person. What happened in the previous birth, what is going to happen in this birth, and what will be his next birth. That capacity he had. So he started telling Jyotisha to all the people, and people started coming. He earned a lot in that. So he has totally involved in that. He has forgotten the duty or his purpose for which he has taken birth in the Bhuloka. Again, Vijayadasa intervened in his life and told, Hey Bhaganna, why you opened this shop? The very purpose of your rebirth is not this. You have got lot of things to do in your life. So he brought him back and he became a Dasa. Then you take the story of our Dhanata Dasa. He was a very big Sanskrit scholar and he was running Gurukula for so many children and he was very famous and he was very proud and arrogant that he has got a very good knowledge in Sanskrit. He was very proficient in Sanskrit and he never cared about the Dasas. He thought Dasas are small people, they simply compose songs in Kannada and simply dance and sing. They are not worth to care about. Finally, he insults Vijayadasa and he gets stomach pain and he was brought back to the Dasa. So, Dasa ordinance. So, again, God has intervened. Like that, in everybody's life, God intervenes and put them back to the normal thing. So, whatever he has promised, he has done it. So, these Dasas have chosen Dasyam for reaching the moksha, that is pleasing the God to get the moksha. So, see, there is Prahalada, while explaining the things about the glory of Sriman Narayana, he tells his father that there are 9 ways to please the God. We call it as Navavida Bhakti. That is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dhasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam. So out of this, you can choose any way to please the God and get moksha. Here, our Dasas have chosen the Dasyam. That means total surrender to the God. They throw their ego, they throw their pride, and they become a simple person. All are great people. All Dasas are not normal people. See, people think that Dasa means they know only Kannada. No. They are experts in all Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, everything they know. And they started writing songs in Kannada so that it will reach the common people. So Dasatvam is a very big thing. See, Kanakadasa says in his song Dasanavu Visheshanavu, what he says? Kasi, Varanasi, Kanchi, Kalahasti, Rameshwara, Yesu Desa Tirigidare, Bahadeno. You make Kshetradana to all these places. You go to Kasi, you go to Varanasi, you go to Kanchi, go to Kalahasti. Do you think you will get moksha? Maybe, or may not be, because you might have done some mistake. So, you may not get. And he says, Doshanasa, Krishnaveni, Gange, Godavari, Bhavanasi, Tungabhadra, Yamune, Vasadalli, Upavasadalli. You could go to all these tirthas, do the tirthas snana, do upavasas. Do you think you will get moksha? It is not guaranteed. What he says, Misalagi Mindu, Japa Tapa Homa, Namagala, Yesu Bari Madidareno, Palaveno. You do everything. You do, daily I do Gayatri Mantra, daily I do Puja, daily I do Yajna. But there is no concentration. I got my own pride. I think, yes, I have done today 1 lakh Gayatri, I am a big person. Today I have offered my God this much of Nivedya, this much of flowers, I am a big person. So everywhere our ego comes. You should shed this, otherwise you will not get below. Then what he says, Dasanagu, Visheshanagu. Only when you will become a Dasa, then you will be a special person to God. That's what the Dasa, so they are telling. So, like this Haridaasa movement has started. Though the Haridaasa movement has started during the 9th century, actual Haridaasa movement with respect to Dvaita Siddhantha has started only in the 30th century. See, the Haridasas, they are people who are almost either saints or semi-saints who have dedicated their entire life in the service of Lord Hari. They have thrown away their egos and pride. They simply do Nama Sankirtana and go to house for Unjavarthi, collect the grains and eat it, and this is their livelihood. They normally stay in the temples or in mutts. They travel from one end to other end of the country just to propagate the Hari Bhakti by way of Nama Sankirtanas or Kirtanas also, because in general Haridasa says like that. Again in Haridasa, there are two groups. One, they believed that the following of Vyasa, that means telling Kirtanas in Sanskrit or reciting slokas in Sanskrit and preaching them to the common people, we can attain moksha or we can guide the people for moksha. But because on those days, one thing we should understand, on those days, at the time of puja, talking in Prakruta Bhasha, that means here it is a Kannada. Any language other than Sanskrit is seen as or seen as unholy. That is, they call it as Mailige, Title. So when you are doing a puja, you should talk only in Sanskrit. Such was the thing. So at that time, the second group of Dasakoota, they decided to preach the Hari Bhakti in the local language. They have chosen the Prakruta Bhasha, that means the local language. Here in this case, you can take it as a Kannada as the medium to take the Hari Bhakti to the common people. So these people are called, those who have done Kirtanas in Kannada and started doing is are called Dasakootas. So these Haridasas in the Dasa Sahithyas, they propagated the philosophy of Madhvacharya. That is the Dvaita Siddhanta, and then the elements of that Taratamya, Panchabeda and all. Though it was not explicitly told in the Dasa Sahityas, the elements like Taratamya and Panchabeda were discussed in most of the songs. So the main aim of both Dasakoota as well as Vyasakoota, those people who have preached Hari Bhakti through Sanskrit were called Dasakoota because they followed the method of Vyasa. They were the disciples of Vyasa. They took that path. So they were called Dasakoota. Those who have chosen to propagate the Haribhakti through Kannada language were called Dasakoota. So, but the aim of both the people is to propagate Haribhakti and also uphold the Dvaita Siddhanta proponed by Madhvacharya. So this was happened, and this Haridaasa movement gained further impetus in the 17th and 18th century during the Vijayanagara Empire. During Vijayanagara Empire, the Dasa Sahithya has got a very good boon. We may knowing that Vyasaraja was the Rajaguru of Sri Krishnadeva Raya, and also he was the vice chancellor of the university, Hampi University at that time. So he utilized his position to propagate the Dvaita Siddhanta. So coming like that, we will go to one by one because there are so many Haridasas, so many people of members of this Dasakoota. It is very difficult for me to complete it within this given time. So I would like to discuss only few prominent Haridasas. What is their contribution? What is their background? What is their contribution? Like that I will discuss. And if time permits, or if I am given another chance, I will go in detail about all the dasas regarding their charita, that is history, and their compositions, and their gift to the Kannada literature. So among this Dasakoota, first comes the Narahari Tirtha. See, Narahari Tirtha is from the Kalinga Desa. That is, was the part of some part of as well Andhra Pradesh and some part of Orissa. He is believed to be from the Arvatokulu lineage of Madhva Brahmins. So he was the minister in the court of Gajapati kingdom. He is a multi-talent personality. He has got proficiency in Sanskrit, proficiency in Kannada, proficiency in music, and he is an able administrator, and he is very good at economics also. That was his greatness. So while he was the minister in the court of Gajapati kingdom, he once goes to Badri. There he meets Madhvacharya. So what happens? He discusses with Srimad Acharya regarding the philosophy of Dvaita. Then during discussions and all, he got attracted by the philosophy of Sri Madhvacharya and became his disciple. So he came back with Madhvacharya. Then he went to the Kalinga kingdom and he relinquishes his office and he took sannyasa from Sri Madhvacharya. So what happens after Madhvacharya? Next comes the Padmanabha Tirtha. So Padmanabha Tirtha was his ashrama guru. Once during the discussion with Srimad Acharya, Sri Madhvacharya tells Sri Narahari, his original name, that is Purashra name was Shama Sastri. After becoming the sannyasi, his sannyasasrama name was Narahari Tirtha. So Sri Madhvacharya tells Narahari Tirtha that the Moola Rama Vigraha and the Moola Sita Vigraha, which was worshipped by the Brahmadevaru and then by the Dasaratha himself. See, Dasaratha did Rama Puja before Rama's birth. That's why he has kept the name Rama to his son. So this Vigraha, after changing many hands, it has come to this Gajapati kingdom and it is in the treasury of Gajapati kingdom. So he tells Narahari Tirtha to get that Vigrahas. So he also accepted. Then he does it when he, in a later date. So what happened? See, Narahari Tirtha was given the Pitadipati by Padmanabha Tirtha. Once he taken over as the Pitadipati of Madhva Pita, as a administrator, he started doing lot of reforms in this Madhva Mata, that is Madhva Siddhantha, you can say. First of all, the first main thing he did is he wanted to identify the followers of Madhvacharya. So what he did, he has introduced Angara Akshate. That is what we are wearing in our forehead now. So these Sishyas of Madhvacharya will have Angara Akshate in their forehead to get identified that they are all followers of Madhvacharya. First thing he has did this one. Then what he did, he has traveled all over the country and he has canvassed and converted so many people and made them to accept Vaishnavism and also the teachings of Madhvacharya. So once in Andhra Pradesh, he has canvassed or he has converted 6,000 of family who are following other these things to Madhva Siddhanta. And they also embraced the Vaishnavism and accepted Sri Madhvacharya as their guru. Those sect of people are even now the lineage is there, the family lineage is still continuing. Those people are called Arvelu Madhva Brahmins. That's Aru means 6, Velu means 1,000. So these 6,000 people's lineage is there, no? That family lineage are now called as Arvelu Madhva Brahmins. Same way, he has also decided to use Kannada Bhasha to propagate the teachings of Madhvacharya. It was not there in that time. It was a very big sin to talk in Kannada itself. But he has taken a bold decision to introduce Kannada for preaching of Tattvavada. So not only that, again he has taken a step to introduce one thing called Yakshagana and another play called Bailata. The Yakshagana is a thing that it's a street play wherein the stories of all these Mahabharata and Ramayana were told. He has utilized that to preach the Madhva Siddhanta. Same way Bailata. It is also a street play. He used that Bailata to preach the Madhva Siddhanta. He himself is very good in debate and he has won so many people in Vada and made them to accept Madhvacharya as their guru and accept his teachings. So it is his contribution. So after that, after some days, there is a gap of some days, then comes our Sripada Rajaru. Sripada Rajaru is disciple of Swarnavarna Tirtha. Then Sripada Rajaru, he was coronated as a Pitathipati during 1412 in Srirangam. So while he was at Srirangam, he visits Ranganatha Swami temple. There he notices that the Archakas recite Pasurams and Divya Prabandhams in Tamil at the time of puja. And this kind of thing has percolated to the down level, even to the common people, and they were also reciting it. So he understood the strength of the local language. So after that, he also decided, just like Alvars, he also wanted people from Madhva Siddhanta to write kritis in Kannada so that it can reach the common people. And also he has decided that these kritis will be the essence of this Purana and then Veda, Gita, everything. The essence will be taken in a nutshell and be given in small kritis so that even the common people can enjoy those things. That was his idea. So he himself started writing songs in Kannada. He has contributed a lot. And these Haridaasas, while doing their Sahithya, they used to have that Ankita. That means they will give their pen name at the end of the song or at the last charana of the song so that it will indicate who is the author of this particular Sahithya. So that is called Ankita. Normally, these Ankitas were given by their gurus whenever they have been ordinated into the Dasa. Then the guru will give them the Ankita. With that, they will start singing songs. But in some cases, the God himself gives the Ankita to the Dasa, or some Dasas get their Ankitas through their dreams. So this is called Swapna Labita Ankita, they can say. Even our Sripada Raja gets his Ankita from his this thing only, Rangavitala, from the Swapna only. And Jagannatha Dasa gets the Ankita direct from the God. That is why he is called as Ranga Valida Dasa. That means straight away taken care by the God. So like that, his Ankita was Rangavitala. So he started writing songs in Kannada. In Srirangam itself, he composed his song Kangalidhyatako Kaveri Rangana Nodada Kangalidhyatako, where he describes the entire Sriranga. He takes the Sriranga in front of our eyes. He describes about the Pushkarni there, then Vimana there, everything. He describes how the procession of Ranga is taking place. He describes like that. So one more main thing he has done is introduction of a string instrument. While see, normally these Pasurams and these things were recited, whereas he adopted with raga, singing the song with raga and also with Shruti. So he introduced string instrument, a single string instrument, which afterwards developed as tambura. So he is the founder of that. So he has started doing it. Then one of his special Shishya is none other than our Vyasatirtha. Actually, during the period of Vyasatirtha, the entire Dasakoota has got an oxygen, so as to say, and sprouted like anything. He had a lot of influence over Vijayanagara. See, he was part of the Vijayanagara, that too. When the Vijayanagara was in speak, his entire life was attached to the Vijayanagara Empire. Especially, Sri Krishnadevaraya has honored him with Ardha Sinhasana honor. That means he shared the Sinhasana with Krishnadevaraya. He was given the Vice Chancellor post of that Hampi University. And he commanded a lot of influence in the Krishnadevaraya court. So, with that, he has influenced the government to open more and more temples, which will give prominence to the Dvaita Siddhanta. And he himself is a very good proficiency. He has had a very good proficiency in the Dvaita philosophy, and he had a talent that he can judge the opponent's next move. Whenever there is a Vada taking place, he is an expert in what the next this thing will come from the opponent, and he will immediately counter it. So that way, he has astonished so many people in the Vada, and the opponents themselves accepted that he has got a very good proficiency and his supreme to their own Siddhanta. That is his way of his proficiency in the Siddhanta and the philosophy of Madhva. So he has also written songs. His Ankita was Sri Krishna. The famous song Krishnani Begane Baro is his song only. And the main contribution of Sri Purandaradasa is his two Shishyas. Actually, these two were the Ratnas among the Dasakoota. One is Sri Kanakadasa, the other one is Sri Purandaradasa. So, what happened? The Kanakadasa is not, actually normally in those days, most of the Dasas were from the Brahmin community, but he is so revolutionary. See, Vyasaraja is so revolutionary, he used Kannada language, and also he wanted to percolate Haribhakti to all the people, irrespective of their caste and creed. So, he has encouraged Kanakadasa, and his love towards Kanakadasa is immense. Wherever he gets a chance, he proved that Kanakadasa is the best among his Shishyas. So he has patronized him like anything. Then his another Shishya is none other than the Purandaradasa. So after Vyasaraja, these two people come. As a Dasakoota, then you will go to Kanakadasa. Kanakadasa, you don't know, he was a warrior. By birth, he was a Nayaka, he was a warrior. And he never cared about this Bhakti Marga and all. He was very much interested in war and he wants to establish himself as a king. That was his aim. And in his lifetime, so many times, Lord Krishna interferes and asks him to become a Dasa. But every time he refuses. Whenever he had a problem in his life, when his wife died, when his mother died, he intervenes and tell him, Kanaka, you become my Dasa. He says, no, I am a born warrior. I want to become a king. I don't want to become a Dasa and go for Bhiksha from house to house for my livelihood. Then finally, in a war, he was completely wounded, almost to death. At the time, again, the Asiriri comes. Lord intervenes and says, Kanaka, please, you have to become my Dasa now. Then he is in pain. He is crying. He says, Hare Paramatma, now I am dying. What I can do now if I become a Dasa? Then Lord says, no, you have got a lot of things to do in your life. You will not die. I will cure your pain and all. First you accept that you will become a Dasa. Then Kanakadasa accepts. He becomes Dasa. Then in his dream, the God directs him to go to Vyasaraja and he goes and he becomes the disciple of Vyasaraja. Thereby, he also started following Dvaita Siddhanta. He is a strong follower of Dvaita Siddhanta. He has brought most this Taratamya or this Advaita, so Dvaita philosophy in most of his songs. So, just for an example, I will give you that in the previous song we were telling about, no? In that he says, Maya Mohake Sikki Nondu Bendu Vandarinda Uliyalilla. In his song, Dasanagu Visheshnagu song, he says, Maya Mohake Sikki Nondu Bendu Vandarinda Uliyalilla. See, they won't tell explicitly that this is they want to tell. They are telling in a hidden way. What he says? Maya Mohake Sikki. That means, he says, whatever that Advaita says is a Mayavada. That is the, see, others should forgive me because it is in the subject I have to talk. So, I don't want to hurt anybody else. But the Dvaita Siddhanta is like that. They say that is a Mayavada. So, what our Srimad Acharya says, Jagat Satyam. It is Satya. This is not Maya. So, what he says, Maya ka Sikki, that you are engulfed in that Mayavada and you could not find a path. Vandarinda Uliyalilla. That means, when I say Paramatma and Jivatma is one, I could not get the light in my path to attain the moksha. When I accepted Arivu Amba Deepa Bittu, when I used my knowledge and understood that Paramatma and Jivatma are different things, then I had the knowledge and I could reach the moksha. Like that, he is contributing to Dvaita Siddhanta. He has done around 200 kirtanas. And he has, most of his lifetime, he traveled all over the South India and preached the Dvaita Siddhanta. But he is a very revolutionary poet, you can say. Normally, these dasas in themselves, they say that God is very simple. God is for all. There is no need for ritualistic ornamental things in puja to attain moksha. That is the basic policy. Sulabano Hari, that is what they are this thing. Hari is very sulabha. To meet Hari is very easy. Why you are doing yaga, yagna and all. That's what he says. So, he is also of that type. He also tells all these things are not required. Simply chant Harinama and get the moksha. That is what our Haridaasa says. Then I will move to see Purandaradasa. See, among the Dasakoota, Purandaradasa is the crown. Even his own guru, Sri Vyasaraja says, Dasarendare Vyasaraja, Purandara Dasaraya, he says. That means if you say he's a Dasa, he's a Purandara Dasa only. If you simply say Dasa means it refers to Purandara Dasa only. Such a big person. As I said, he was a millionaire, but he thrown away his wealth and becomes the Dasa. See, in his lifetime, on and around at the age of 40, he becomes a Dasa. He died at the age of around 80. So in this 40 years lifespan, he has composed 4,75,000 songs. Just imagine, it is totally very difficult task. It is not possible at all. It will be possible only whenever you open some mouth, your song should come in his mouth. That is the thing. But unfortunately, we are not fortunate enough to get all his Sahithyas. We could get only around 900 to 1,000. But he has written a lot of Kirtana. There is no other topic which he has not touched. He has touched all the topics. Vairagya, then happiness, everything he has touched. He has fought with the God. He has blackmailed the God. He is so close to God that he could blackmail the God also. Such a close this thing of Bhakta of Hari or Purandara Dasa. So after this 4,75,000 kritis, the kritis wherein he explains, that is Varnane, Tirtha Kshetra Varnane they call it. That itself is 1,25,000. As our Alvars have gone to all the Kshetras and did Mangala Sasana, our Purandara Dasa has also visited all the Kshetras. He has traveled a lot and composed songs in glory of that particular deity of that particular Kshetra. But we are not able to get it. The first thing is that it was not as famous as the Alvars songs. Number two, so many things we have lost, so we could not do it. So whatever songs I get it, I am putting now, whatever I am putting in my YouTube, now I am putting it as a, wherever our Purandara Dasa has visited, what is the song he has composed there, what is the Kshetra Mahime of that particular Kshetra, that is what the series I am posting in my YouTube nowadays. Wherever I get, I am collecting that and collecting the Kshetra Purana and connecting those songs and putting the meaning of that songs in Tamil. See, actually, whenever we go to a Kshetra, we simply go there, see the God and come back. But these Dasas did not do like that. They learned completely the Kshetra Mahime and Sthala Purana, and they brought all those stories in a small nutshell in their particular compositions. That I have given in my videos. You can refer to that. So in Kshetra Varnane itself, he has written 1,25,000 songs. Then he has dedicated 5,000 songs for Guru Parampara and praising Madhvacharya, praising all other saints, and Hanuma, Bhima, Madhva and all. In that itself, he has spent some 5,000 songs. Then he has done Varnane of Brahmaloka, Kailasaloka and all. In that, he has spent some 90,000 songs. Then Purana Kathagalu, just like our Ramayana, Mahabharata, in that he has composed some 90,000 songs. See, one example I am giving you. One song is there, Purandara Dasa song, Alli Nodalu Rama, Illi Nodalu Rama. See, this song, we normally sing like Alli Nodalu Rama, Illi Nodalu Rama, Illi Nodalu Rama. Actually, it is only one part of that Ramayana story where the Mulabala Sena's strength was being described. Valmiki, in his Ramayana, what he has depicted in his slokas, he has simply translated that in Kannada. So what Valmiki says, Rama fights in such a manner that it is seen everywhere Rama is there. Wherever you see, there is Rama. And the Maya has been created by his speed that every demon, the Rakshasa, sees the other Rakshasa as Rama and they kill each other. This is the thing he has brought in his song, Alli Nodalu Rama, Illi Nodalu Rama, Ellalli Nodalu Rama. Avanige Ivarama, Ivanige Avarama. So this is that song. So this is the way he has brought these Puranas into as a small kirtanas for our common people. Then Devata Mahime, he has done some 60,000 songs. Then Shruti, Smriti and all, he has done 16,000 songs. And Suladigalu, 64,000 songs. So Devarnama, what we are singing today, is around 25,000 songs. Actually, his aim was to sing 5 lakh songs, but he could complete only 4,75,000 songs. It is his own version. In his own song, he says. And he requests his son to Madhvapati Das. So he asking him Madhvapati to complete remaining 25,000, but Madhvapati says that in this birth it is not possible. He will take rebirth, and in that birth he will complete 25,000 songs. So I will come to that next. So this is the Mahima of Sri Purandaradasa, and in his songs he has very nice way he has explained the Dvaita Siddhanta and Taratamya without hurting anybody's feelings. That is the main thing. As far as Dvaita Siddhanta is concerned, all are our gods only, but there is a Taratamya. That's all. So he used that Taratamya and he praised all the gods. So he has written lot of songs on Rudradevaru. He says, Koralalu Basma Rudrakshada Tarisida Parama Vaishnava Nenu. He says, Shiva has a Parama Vaishnava. He looks Shiva as a Parama Vaishnava. He says, Shiva is a person who has given us the Taraka Mantra. So that is the way he has looked at the Dvaita Siddhanta. Then comes the, after some years of 200 years gap, Vijayadasa comes. He has composed around, I think the time is going, I'll go a little fast. So he has composed some 25,000 songs, and he has also done a lot of contribution to the Madhva Siddhanta, and he has brought this Taratamya and all in his song. In one song, Yachattu Irukandya Manave, he says, Anya Sastragala Odaveda. Like that he says, you listen to Purna Pragnara, Madhvacharya Bodhana, that is itself means for you. Like that he is contributing to Dvaita Siddhanta. Then comes the Gopala Dasaru. Gopala Dasaru is a very big person who has sacrificed his 40 years of life. He has given Dhana 40 years of life to Jagannatha Dasaru so that he can compose that Harikatamsa Sara. So such a great person. He has also contributed to Dasa Sahithya and Madhva Siddhanta. 1,000 kirtanas, around 1,000 kirtanas he has done it. He has died in the age of 39 because he has given his life to Jagannath Dasaru. He lived a short, he died in the age of 39. Then comes the Jagannatha Dasaru. Jagannatha Dasaru is a very proficient person in Sanskrit also. So his songs, if you see, there will be a lot of usage of Sanskrits. It won't be that much easy as you see Purandaradasara's song. So he has also written so many kirtis in Kannada, and his Tattva Suvali is a very good grantha wherein he is describing about the Kandana and other philosophies. Then his Harikatamsa Sara, which is the essence of these Puranas, then Gita and all everywhere, he is bringing the essence of all those things in a Kannada Bhasha, Prakriti Bhasha, so that everybody can understand. So this Dasakoota is continuing. There is no end for it. It is continuing. After it, so many dasas have come. I am not able to tell the names. So many dasas are there. Then latest Shyamasundara Dasa was a very famous person who has sung so many songs on Sri Jagannatha Dasaru and Sriman Narayana. So this lineage is continuing, and the founder of the Bhakti movement of this ISKCON, Bhakta Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, he is attracted by these Madhvacharya's preachings. So he takes the clue from that only, and taking that as the thing, he has created that ISKCON, that the Krishna conscious, which is colloquially known as Hare Krishna movement. So this Dasakoota, this thing is continuing, and it will continue also. We will also contribute our time or devote our time to go through Dasa Sahityas to know about their proficiency in the literature as well as their contribution to the Bhakti Marga. So with this, I'd like to conclude my discourse, and I again request you to condone if there is any mistake either in the content or in the grammar or in the usage, or whether I have hurted any of other my friends. I apologize for that. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much. I'm handing over to Śri Harikesh Patsardi.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, thank you so much for accepting our invitation without impediment and coming here to give us a wonderful insight informations about the Dasakoota and their uncompromising attachment to Lord Hari. Thank you so much. We could get a lot of information about Dasakootas and much more to continue in the future as well. We pray God that He gives enough strength and health to you to continue the spiritual path. Thank you so much, sir. Now,
Thank everybody.
Thank you. Now, I would like to call upon Isha Charavarthy to give a speech on Rama's preparation on exile by Kaikeyi and abduction of Sita by Ravana. So, Isha Charavarthy, in fact, when I invite Isha Charavarthy, really, we are so pleased because the very purpose of this Moksha Darshanam, as I stated in the beginning, that to spread the awareness of Lord Hari to all, and more importantly, to pass on this to the next generation. So, by means of bringing these children into this Satsanga, this passing on of this information to the next generation should continue. And in that way, many children have come forward in reciting slokas, giving the explanation or giving discourses. In that way, today Isha Charavarthy is going to give us a discourse. And I would like to thank Isha for accepting our invitation and coming here and giving her this discourse. And also, we would like to thank her mother, Pavitra, for giving all the encouragement, nurturing her right from the childhood, giving her all these spiritual things and lead her in the spiritual path. So I would like to hand over mic to Isha to start now. Over to you, Isha.
Many thanks actually for giving me the opportunity to speak in this satsangam. So today I'll be just telling you about from Rama's preparation to go to the exile, as well as till Sita's abduction. So Srimati Ramanujaya Namaha. So actually, there was so Dasharatha had plans to make Rama the king, and a woman, but till a woman called Kuni poisoned Kaikeyi about this. Kaikeyi loved Ram very much. She was kind of like the stepmother of Ram, and she really loved him. So when Kuni kind of like poisoned her and said, "But if Rama becomes the king, he will do that. He will do this," and she poisoned Kaikeyi. So Kaikeyi was very angry, and she did not want Rama to become the king. So I would like to say that Kaikeyi actually, before in a war when she and the rest were fighting, where Dasharatha was going to be killed, when she saved King Dasharatha. So Dasharatha, very happy or overwhelmed, said that he would give Kaikeyi 2 boons. So this this time Kaikeyi got reminded of that and asked Dasharatha for the 2 boons. He immediately accepted the offer and said, "Yes, what are your 2 boons?" And then when she said that she wanted to send Ram for exile for exile for 14 years, Dasharatha was astonished. She also, as a second boon, asked Baradan to be the king. Dasharatha was even more shocked and pleaded to Kaikeyi to ask anything else. But Kaikeyi was determined. So Dasharatha at this point had 2 choices. He could either be a good king and give justice to his words, or he could either be a good father and like reject the request of Kaikeyi but he chose to be a good king to his Ayodhya. So, with no other choice, he sent Ram to the forest. And when he reported this to Ram, actually, he did not say anything. He just happily accepted this, the request, and he immediately went to the forest. You might think that Ram was the only one who went, but no, his wife Sita also went, as well as Lakshmanan. Lakshmanan, you might ask me why he went, because he really loved Ram so much. He would not live without Ram, so he went with Ram. So there's also, and then after a few days after Ram left, Dashratha became sick and died. So there is a story behind the death of Dashratha, which happened so sadly like this. So once Dashratha was hunting in the near the river Sarayu. So actually there was this sound. He was very good in archery, so there was this sound of a deer quenching its thirst. So when he heard this the sound, he let his arrow in the direction of that sound. But to his surprise, he heard the sound of a man or a human being shouting. So when he came closer, he did really notice a human being. So he apologized and asked why he was there. When the Shravan, so the man's name was Shravan, and Shravan said that his parents were blind, so he had to quench their thirst, and he came to the Sarayu river to get water for them. So so he requested Dashratha if he could help him and give water to his parents. But Dashratha also agreed only. Dashratha also agreed and immediately went to see his parents. When he reached the blind parents and told them what happened, they were astonished. They threw away the water given to them by Dashratha, and they they gave they had putra shoka at that point. Even though they were blind, they could not be with their son, so they had putra shoka at that point. So they gave a curse to Dashratha to also undergo putra shoka and die. So, like how they undergo that and died, same way Dashratha had to be away from his son for 14 years, and in that sadness he also died. So I would like to continue here. So Bharadan, when he came to know that his mother had been the reason for for sending Ram to for exile, as well as for the death of Dashratha, because Dashratha, right, because of being away from Ram, right. So Kaikeyi is also indirectly the reason for Dashratha's death. So for these two reasons, he was very angry on his mother and said, "You have committed a very, very, very big sin. Where will you go? And take the sin away." This made Bharathan very sad. He had always kept Ram in his heart, and he really loved Ram so much. And this was the reason why he could not bear the sadness, as well as he also said he would not become the king. So he immediately went in search of Ram. And when he found him in the forest, he said, uh, I'm sorry for what my mother did. Can you please come back to Ayodhya and can you please come back to Ayodhya and and rule? Can you rule the kingdom over? Bharatan asked that. So Ram could not accept it. Of course, he could not accept it because he had given his words to Dashratha. So he could not accept it. So Ram could not accept it. So he said, "I cannot accept this. I have given words to my father." But he was still in the pain that his father was dead. So Sita consoled him. And then Bharadan said, "Okay, it's fine. Even if you don't come to rule, I won't rule. Give me your padukas and I'll puja them, and I will make them the king of Ayodhya and make them rule over Ayodhya." Ram accepted, but there's also a story behind this. So once the Paduka in Lord Vishnu's feet, as well as the crown on Lord Vishnu's head, were in the middle of a conversation. They were talking that the crown proudly said that I am in the top of my Lord Vishnu's head, but you are in the like pa okay, the feet of the Lord Vishnu. So like I feel more proud, and you shouldn't feel proud. I feel more proud than you, the crown said. So for this, the Paduka replied humbly for the harsh words. It said, I am not really caring about what you say, because I am so blessed to carry my Lord's weight, as well as like protect him from the thorns and rocks. So I feel very happy about this itself, and I don't really want to switch my place, he said. So immediately Lord Vishnu, when he heard this conversation, entered inside and said, well, if you, oh my crown, you are being so proud and harsh to the Paduka, but look at his humbleness. So for what you have did, you will receive the punishment. So in my next avatar, you will be at the bottom. You will, the Paduka will rule over the kingdom Ayodhya, and you will sit on his head and not my head. So the Paduka had learned his sorry, not the Paduka, the crown had learned his lesson. So this is the story of why Ram did not rule over, but his Paduka ruled over Ayodhya. And Bharadan also performed puja daily. So a few days later, a demon, Surpanaga, the vicious sister of Ravan, came there, and she was really attracted to Ram and asked him if she and him could be married. But Ram said said no and rejected the offer because he was already married, obviously. And so when he so when he rejected the offer, Kaikeyi was very angry. And sorry, Surpanaga was very angry, and she went and attacked Sita. But the Lakshman was very, very angry with her action and threw his knife, which her nose as well as her ears. So very angrily, Surpanaha ran to Ravan and reported this, and this only made Ravan abduct Sita. So Ravan told Marichan. He went to Marichan, the demon Marichan, and talked about his plan. So Marichan, he asked that, can you be a part of this plan and turn into a golden deer? Go in front of Sita. And this was Ravan's plan. So even though Marichan was a demon, he did not like the plan to abduct Sita. It was a very rude plan. But still, he thought, even if I don't accept this offer, I will definitely be killed by Ravan. So why not die in the hands of pure Ram, in the hands of the pure Ram or divine Ram, than dying in in the hands of this demonic Ravan? So he accepted the offer. He did go in the form of a golden deer and stood in front of Sita. Sita got mesmerized by its beauty and asked Ram to go ahead and kill it, and so go ahead and bring it to Sita. But Ram was hesitant. He did not want to, uh, you know, he did not want to leave Sita and go in search of that deer. But still, he could not bear to not fulfill Sita's wish. So, with no other option, he went. But he also did not forget to tell Lakshman to take care of Sita. So he went, and when he saw the deer, he let his the arrow on it. So Marichan immediately cried, but not in his own voice. He cried in the voice of Ram, which alerted Lakshman and Sita. Sita got scared that something happened to Ram and immediately sent Lakshman to secure and also get Ram back. But Lakshman was hesitant. But he did also do this. He drew a line around the hut. This was a very powerful line, and if anybody were to cross it, it would light on fire. So Lakshman went in search of Ram with the protection he gave to Sita. As seeing this, Ravan took the advantage of this opportunity and came down in the disguise of a rishi. He went in front of Sita and stood there and requested for some food. How can this beautiful and kind Sita not accept an offer or a request of a rishi for food? So she immediately came out with the rice and stood inside the line. But so Ravan could not enter the line, he asked Sita to come out. Sita came out hesitant and gave him the rice. But immediately he threw the rice down and held Sita's hand. Sita didn't shout because his hand was also on Sita's mouth. So he immediately abducted her and went away fast. So the proud Jatayu, was trying to save her, but Ravan, the very vicious, rude Ravan, chopped off Jatayu's wings. So I would like to end my part of this upanyas today here. Thank you. Srimati Ramanujaya Namaha. Shri Rama Chandra Kripare.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you for giving such a wonderful discourse. Your flow and the content says it all, the way how you would have prepared. So thank you so much. In case if anybody is having a question or feedback, please unmute yourself and say.
Thanks a lot.
Good, Isha. Beautiful. Super. நல்லா
Thanks.
சொன்ன.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Thank you, sir. Balaji, sir.